So you, Sova, are in decon. Lazesh and Jahan are on the bridge, and House is outside of the decon looking at Sova right now. And I assume Clark is probably in the engineering room. So that's where we find you all. Where, what would you guys like to start doing?
So I'm trying because I have to be in decon for like 2 hours, right?
Yeah, probably. You were down there for a full day, so it's probably a few hours. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna sit in a corner and meditate unless somebody interacts with me.
Perhaps while the doctor is doing his examinations, which I'm assuming is what's happening right now,
Yeah.
we can have security check them, see if they have anything on their persons.
I'm gonna roll for Slappy McJohnson security guard
Wow.
since
That is
since
that's his official title.
yeah, since chief of security is down on a shuttle pod and second in command is in decon. So I didn't I didn't go super deep dive and make a third supporting character for every
We got
person.
old slap nuts over here to
Yeah.
do, do some searching.
Okay. So he failed his roll.
Naturally.
So the two Tellarites in the med bay, he finds nothing in their clothing, like any of their equipment.
I was gonna say, is this gonna be one of those like, oh, I didn't find anything, and he's got like a giant plasma rifle sticking out of his jacket?
It might be. Do you guys want Mescal to roll since Slappy failed?
Yeah, we don't. We
Yeah.
Slappy's third string for a reason. We better have the.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like House would have already checked when they were on the table, but
Probably. We didn't have it happen. So he succeeded, and all that's on them is like a communicator, like a phase pistol, and I can't think what they're called in Enterprise. Maybe they're called hypo sprays, but that's what
All
they
right.
have.
Well, we'll have that stuff taken. We'll have old Slappy take them and relieve them of their items for now.
So now we will flash forward some time, and we'll do the same. Sondin will remove the equipment from the ones who are unconscious in decon. So
Because
probably
we
go
had to
ahead.
strip them, didn't we, to put the
Yeah,
gel on?
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. They're not naked, but yeah. So I think it's probably safe to say that probably about the time that it's safe for you to come out of decon, probably those Tellarites would be waking up. So that's kind of where we'll thrust you guys at is House knows that decon is soon to end here in like a minute or two. He's going to do some final bioscans to make sure they're free to walk out, and then that's where we are.
all right. Well, let me scan them when they come out of decom.
Okay, so it's a medicine control difficulty one scan,
Okay.
and I'll have you roll it twice since you're scanning five people. So I'll split it
Okay.
down the middle. So roll it, roll two times.
Should I assist? Should I hold the flashlight while he's scanning?
You could definitely give him some captaining
Yeah.
encouragement.
If you would,
Absolutely.
Lieutenant, if you would be so kind as to hold the tongue depressor.
Of course. Of course.
So so we'll have you, John, roll command presence.
All right. So let's see. My first roll, I got two successes, but one was my medicine number.
Nice. And you got this diagnostic, so it'd be three.
Okay.
I
And then
failed by.
I'll roll for the other guy.
Do I roll also for this one too?
Might as well because they're separate, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got one success on that one.
I nailed that one.
Nice.
I dropped the tongue depressor in the first.
That's right.
So,
They're a little slippery.
we're up to 6 momentum now.
Those tongue
so
depressors might have already been used.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was slippery.
So as House is pressing the monitor and he's like scanning each individual person, Jahan kind of like pats you on the back and you kind of like have to stabilize yourself from pressing the wrong button. But as you continue the scan, he kind of points out some things that maybe you're not quite paying attention to because you're like focused on Sova and the Tellarites, and everybody's clean. There's no weird bio things or nothing crazy happening on any of them. And all you can see on Sova is that for his compared to his previous medical scans, which now acting captain would see this on the screen, you wouldn't necessarily have full knowledge of his medical like previous scans, but you could tell from the way House is looking at it and the way his body language is that House sees that Sova's his scans are he has like elevated things, like almost like he's sick again, like almost when that virus was on the ship, like he has like elevated symptoms, elevated heart rate, things of that nature.
So the two Tellarite guys are medically stable, so I would
Yeah.
have the security officer take them to the brig.
Okay.
And I would have Sandin maybe take a seat on the bed just so I can get some further readings.
The security officer or Andrew's character?
No, Sova, not Sandin.
Okay. Okay. So you're going to take him to the med lab.
Med lab, yep.
Okay. So you guys will probably give them their clothes back, right? The Tellarites.
No.
Yeah, I suppose I want to give them medical gowns.
Okay. That's fine. So Sandin puts his uniform back on and he escorts the two Tellarites to the brig. They are very like tired and sleepy acting. They're kind of talking, but not really. It's more like you can tell they're disoriented. They don't really understand why they're perhaps on a ship when they were just on the planet. That's kind of all you get when as they're walking to the brig. They're not really being boisterous or anything. They're just kind of walking to the brig.
Perhaps I escort them
Okay.
to the brig.
Okay.
Security officer.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Uh, Officer, do you think these gentlemen will be ready for some questions soon?
Well, they seem a little groggy and they seem pretty disoriented from what I'm picking up from just looking at them. But I'm sure within the hour, I would assume they're going to be totally fine to talk to. I'm sure
Ah,
they're going to be asking questions too.
good, good. We'll have a little Q&A in an hour then.
Okay. So you walked them down. The brig is not terribly far from Gigon. And we cut to Sova and House walking the corridor to Medbay.
Is this really necessary, Doctor? I've been instructed by the captain to go to my room and meditate, and I would like to do that.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just gonna look you over a little bit more before I feel comfortable releasing you to your room.
If if you insist.
I do insist. How are you feeling overall?
I am healthy. I do not have any current issues.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to have you roll, Andrew. You're gonna have to roll
Okay. Roll
command
D6.
presence difficulty 2.
Or difficulty 2. I'm going to use one of the momentums. Did not succeed.
So I think you can put it together, Caleb, that so when he says that
Yeah.
he does not sell the lie at
Hmm.
all. But the interesting thing is Vulcans don't lie, so
Right.
you may think,
So
he
I
may not
say to
even be
him,
aware of what. Yeah.
you as a Vulcan, you are not incapable of lying, but you have chose to deaden your emotions. So why do I detect you lying?
I do not know what you were referring to, Doctor.
Another lie. Fascinating.
Doctor, if you feel it necessary to do a medical exam on me, I wish to have it now so that way we can get this done and over with.
Yeah, likewise. I just have a feeling in the back of my neck that won't go away. Not unlike those two Tellarites that are crippled in the medical bay.
And I think just as that would be a perfect way, just as he says that, the med bay doors open, and as he walks in and you're behind him, you see ahead of you, Sova, you see Mescal standing in front of the imaging scanner, which you guys have in the background. And there is a Tellarite laying on the thing, and you can see he is trying to reconstitute that Tellarite's collarbone area, and the other
Mm.
Tellarite is in one of the beds off to the side, um, sleeping. It's the first time you've had a moment of respite that you're now seeing the two more aggressively injured Tellarites.
Yeah, I've also seen that your meditation hasn't done any favors for you either.
Well, usually when I do a meditation, I am alone and I have certain things with me to help me. Like I usually have a candle to focus on. I did not have these things in decon.
Yeah, it's just one of those situations where, it's very clear that something, I mean, it's clear that these patients like have been neck pinched and you know, I've seen signs of this before where a neck pinch has gone on too long or applied too hard. I mean, these men, I mean, they're going to either need surgery or they're like not going to recover from this.
I understand, Doctor. I was in a hurry to disable them so that the inhabitants of the planet wouldn't become aware of our presence. Clearly,
Yeah.
I applied too much pressure from their resistance. I did not intend to do this much harm to them.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that. I'm not going to be the one to say you did the wrong thing. That's not my place. My concern is making sure that you are healthy and that these men don't die because I don't want to see you on trial for murder.
I also do not have the desire for their death. Shall we start the scan?
Yeah, I would like to start the scan. So the two Tellarites are stable, right? At the moment.
Yeah, the one's
Okay.
basically going on. One is seems stable, and he's like resting in the bed, and the other one is currently on the imaging scanner, soon to be like basically like plastic surgery is like happening on his shoulder that Pascal is like doing.
Okay. So Mescal is capable of that surgery.
Yeah. Well, the imaging chamber that the Tellarite is on is like where you would do it, but right now that bed is occupied. Now you could suspend what's happening to him and put him in the bed and put Sova on the imaging chamber.
Mm.
So what do you want to put him in the imaging chamber and like have the other guy be put on the bed? What's your thoughts?
If is he in the middle of surgery or is he's about to be?
He's like, yeah, he's like a quarter to halfway done.
How long would it take? Is another question.
Probably another hour or two.
What's the risk of moving him? Is it severe?
It's not terribly severe, no, but you wouldn't really want to leave him in this condition for an incredibly long time.
Right. And that's the only place that he can be operated on. He can't.
No, yeah, he doesn't. There's only that one bed.
And how long would Sova's scan take?
30 minutes.
May I suggest, Doctor, that You allow me to go to my room to meditate, and then we can discuss this later.
Yeah, Sova, why don't you go to your quarters and meditate? I think that's a good idea. And then maybe I'll contact you in like 2 hours or so.
As you wish.
As he leaves,
Okay.
I would go to the Walcom and I would ask for security to stand outside his door
Okay.
just to be safe.
So as he says, as you wish, and you turn and go to the Walcom to talk, let's have Andrew roll a d6.
House, I hope your insurance is paid up.
Okay. So yeah, it seems like Sova's gonna follow your instructions and
Oh, good.
go to his quarters and yeah. As you round out of the med bay, you are confronted with two security officers. And they say, Lieutenant, we're here to escort you to your quarters.
I thought the captain made it clear that this was not necessary.
Well, we're under directives of the doctor to help ensure that you follow his medical orders.
As you wish.
And so they walk you to your room. And you go inside. And even though you don't see them, you know that they're standing right out there as the door closes. So while you're doing this, while you're in here, let's have you roll a command control. So it'll be difficulty 3.
I have to use a momentum, otherwise I'm not going to do it. So I'm doing a 12. I got 2.
2 successes.
So I got 7, 11, and 19. Do I have anything that could help me?
Do you have anything like composure or meditation or Vulcan history or anything like that?
Nope.
So I would say it is a fail.
Yep.
So in this first hour, you are trying to meditate and you're using all of the techniques that you're used to by focusing on the candle, by smelling incense, to perhaps playing an instrument. You're doing all of the things that you have learned, but it's not working. It's not controlling the wave of emotions that you're contending with. Obviously, you're not out of control, but you are riding a stormy sea. So the first hour is up. We can cut to Jahan if you want to be outside of the brig talking to the Tellarites. You get a communication from the security officer saying that, from Sondon saying that he sees that they're starting to like pace and be a lot more active in the brig.
I will be over shortly. So would either of you like to tell me what happened to you?
I see that we're on a Federation ship. The last thing I remember was seeing some plants. And the other one says, yeah, but I saw a Vulcan and he had a uniform on like you did.
I see. So, what were you doing out in that area?
Well, we had gotten word that people from your ship had gone out to the civilization, and we were going out there to see what they were doing because we didn't want them to shut down what was happening on the planet. Like we wanted to still do what we intended to do, which was sell these discs.
Discs, you say?
Mm-hmm. The telepathic discs that the natives have on the planet that allows Tellarites and Andorians and the natives, it seems, to read minds. Like the lucrative possibilities of this is amazing. So we certainly weren't going to let your captain just sidestep everything and, I don't know, make decisions without us being present. But clearly she sent the Vulcan man after us to stop us.
Well, I'm not completely informed on the entire situation. I'll have to speak with the captain when she does return. You didn't perhaps happen to attack my crew, did you?
No, we didn't do anything. We were just walking around in the jungle, and then next thing you know, we just kind of got jumped, and then we woke up in on here. And I remember there being a Vulcan man who had a uniform on like you, but it's so hazy. I don't really remember all the finer details.
Hmm.
We didn't do anything.
All right. Well, that'll be all for now, gentlemen. We're gonna keep you here just as a precaution, so you might want to make yourselves comfortable.
I think it would be great as right as they're starting to get angry, you just can press the mute button to their brig and leave. Now, in this new hour, we'll have Sova roll again. Same thing. Command control, difficulty 3.
So I'll use another momentum to try. Oh, that time I succeeded. I got a 2, a 9, and a 10. So
Okay, yeah. So after being in your room for over 2 hours, you are starting to settle. The thoughts and the emotions are starting to settle, and you feel more relaxed. You feel more capable of being a member or part of the crew again. Like you're starting to, all of your thoughts are starting to be quiet and centered again. And just about when you are about to open your eyes and return to a non-meditative state, we'll say that house you've just gotten the Tellarite off of the imaging chamber thing. He's in a stable condition. Now the imaging chamber is free.
So I would message Sova on Wallcom.
Just as your eyelids are opening, Sova, you hear the doctor over your intercom.
okay. So I stand up and I push the button and I go, "Yes, doctor."
Yeah, Sova, the Tellarite has just gotten done with surgery, so if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to run you through the scanner quick.
If you must.
I must.
Mhm. So as the doctor's still on the intercom, I open the door and I inform the security officers the doctor is asking for my presence.
Oh, okay. And you watch one of the security officers go over to a wall com on the hallway and call the doctor. And they say, Doctor, is Lieutenant Silva is letting us know that you're requesting him to medbay.
Yes, yeah, if you could escort him up here, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay, we'll do. And they turn back to Sova and they say, are you comfortable going to the medbay in your current state, or do you need a moment?
I am fine. I can proceed down there.
Okay. So you walking down the corridor with the two of them, and
I'd like to intercept them on their way to.
okay. So when you come around the corner, you see the two security guys, and you see Sova, and he's in his meditation robes.
Lieutenant Sova.
Yes, Commander.
I didn't quite get all the details. Is everything okay with you?
I am fine.
I
If you must
see.
know of what happened with the Tellarites, we were hiding from the inhabitants of they were alerted to our presence, so we were all trying to hide. And that's when the Tellarites came through the jungle and were about to enter the clearing where the inhabitants were. So I felt it necessary to disable them so that way the inhabitants wouldn't have become spooked and began attacking people. There was some resistance by the Tellarites, so I am learning now that I pressed a little harder than I should have, but other than that, I am not aware of anything.
I see. So it was it was deemed necessary to incapacitate them before they alerted the natives.
Correct. Because the Tellarites love to argue and make loud noises. So if I attempted to talk with them, they would have began yelling and alerting our presence.
And they did seem like they were getting loud. But yeah, I spoke with the two that are conscious, and though I don't have a grasp of the entire situation, I it does seem they're a bit confused as to why they're here. So
It would make
just
sense.
wanted to get your side of the story.
The only other thing that you should know is the captain believes that they were stealing the discs. That's why we went to investigate.
I see. Yeah, they seemed very forthright of the information of the discs that they were taking them for monetary gain. It's quite brazen of them to be touting this information.
And as you know, it breaks many ethical and it breaks general order one.
Of course, and then just very risky behavior by them, even stealing aside. All right, where are you currently headed, Lieutenant?
The doctor wishes to see me in the med bay.
I shall let you get going then. Just hope everything is sorted.
Thank you. And then I continue.
So yeah, so
Okay.
you Sova roll command presence, and we'll just do difficulty 2.
I did not succeed at all.
So you, Jahan, what you get from the whole interaction is that he is Sova, like he's the normal Sova you typically see on the ship and interact with and things, but there is definitely something further going on. Now, could it be the fact that like he resorted to violence and Vulcans don't really like doing that? You're not sure if it's just the fact that he had to resort to something like that or there's something more happening with Sova himself. It's hard to know if it's a Vulcan issue or it's a Sova issue.
Yeah, I felt with the security detail and also him heading to the doctor, I should just let the doctor see if there's anything under the surface.
Yeah. So you continue on your way and you enter the med bay, and you see Sova walk in his meditation robes, but the security officers don't walk in, and they stay outside of the med bay.
So good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for getting here promptly. How did your meditation session go?
It went well. I wish to return to it. So can we get this scan over with?
Yes, we can. If you'll have a seat, please.
So I'll lay down on the.
Yep. Yeah. So you lay down on the imaging chamber like bed, and you slide into the chamber, and the things close. And House will have you roll, assisted by the computer. Let's have you, John. Let's have you roll computer's medicine for the ship.
I was wondering, can I roll something to try to quiet my mind while this is happening?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can have you roll that control command thing again.
Control.
Let's have it be a difficulty 2.
Don't resist, Sova. Don't resist.
Computer's overloaded. It didn't work.
I only got 1 success.
Okay, and then you, House, are going to roll a medicine reason.
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty 2.
Let me buy 1 momentum.
Good. We're down to 2.
Okay. I need a 17 or lower. So pretty good
I think
chance.
you have a pretty good chance.
A 5 and a tree and a 4.
I think you have 6 momentum.
Oh, good. So 3 momentum back.
Yeah.
So
So
we're back up to 5.
yeah. So he has 6 momentum altogether, right? I mean, that's what happened.
You said it was a difficulty 2 or difficulty 3.
Yeah, 2,
So then he would get 4 back.
It was a 2.
4. Yeah, 4.
So now we're back up to 6.
Okay. So what you see on the thing, despite the computers not really giving you a lot of extra insight, you know from dealing with Vulcans that Sova does seem legitimately better, and the medical scans do show that he is not unstable. But knowing from your personal history with Vulcans that it seems like he had like a PTSD episode.
So something that happened in his past that he.
Yeah, he's facing like trauma. You're seeing signs on him from him that he was experiencing some sort of trauma.
Okay, yeah. So I got all my readings. So I pushed the open button and he slides out. And I say, well, Sova, it appears that you had a PTSD moment out there in the field. And I can tell that it's still causing you issues with getting your emotions in check. So I'm going to prescribe you some medicine that might help bring your emotions back down a bit.
I do not
think
feel it
that's-
is necessary, but if you are telling me I must, then I guess I have a choice.
I think that would be the best case scenario. I think I would prescribe you the medicine and I will allow you to go meditate. Basically until the captain gets back on board.
So House walks over to his little lab console there in the background there. He goes over there and pulls out a vial that he feels is appropriate. And he loads the injector. And he walks back over to you, Sova. And he brings it to your neck and okay, yeah, he injects you with it. I wasn't sure if you were gonna do something. Okay, so he injects you with it.
I was waiting for it.
I would like to make clear that Sova has no emotion, but you can see in the eyes that he doesn't appreciate this at all.
So let's have you roll
do-
a d6, Andrew.
6.
You can tell pretty immediately, Sova, that would be as you're injected with this, that it's probably not going to have any effect on your trauma.
Okay. Can I leave now?
Yeah. Yeah, you can leave.
So I get up and I walk over to the door and I look back and I go, can I leave alone or do I have to have the security?
You can leave alone this time.
Oh, he's sassy. I don't like it.
So I opened the door and I said, I am returning to my room. The doctor has informed me that I do not need to be escorted.
And the two security officers look into the med bay at you, House.
Yeah. And I just nod at him.
And they say, okay, Lieutenant, hope you feel better. And they continue down the corridor away from you.
I go back to my room to meditate some more.
I'm clearly peeking around the corner, watching all of this happen.
Yeah, so what you see, Jahan, is that the security, don't escort him back to his quarters. So it seems like things are relatively back to normal.
So I go into the doctor's quarters there, the office, med bay,
Yep.
wherever he's at.
Yep.
Doctor, I imagine you can't discuss too much, but is everything okay with Lieutenant Sova?
Yeah, even in this 22nd century, we still have HIPAA, so.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
He seems okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Is he still fit for duty? I mean, I see that he doesn't have an escort anymore.
He's
I was a
not
little
currently
concerned.
Not currently fit for duty.
I see.
He's
But
still in
not
his
a
robes.
not a threat though.
I yeah, I would not say he is an immediate threat to the ship or the crew.
Okay. Well, that's where my concern lies at the moment. As I'll have to get more information from the captain, but it seems as though uh, he attacked these Tellarites of his own volition. So
Yeah.
there are reasons, of course, but
Yeah, I
I
don't know
feel
what.
as though I need more information on the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what happened down there exactly, but I know that two of these Tellarite their collarbones were basically shattered into their spine. So, and the
That
wounds are
sounds
very
serious.
yeah, it's not good. Good. I sent Sova to his room basically, not as in like a disciplinary thing, but he's gonna meditate until the captain comes back aboard.
I see, I see. All right. Well, of course, we'll give him benefit of the doubt. It's just it doesn't look great from what little information we do have.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to write up a report to Starfleet on the situation.
Usually do no harm, especially from Sova. We'll definitely be keeping an eye out on him. Maybe I'll have security. And I mean, he doesn't need an escort, but well, I'll still make sure that they keep aware.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Doctor.
Yeah. Anytime.
Maybe once this settles down, we can get another card game in.
Yeah, that feels like forever ago, doesn't it?
Ah, sure does.
You went from having nothing to do on the bridge to haven't been able to even have lunch.
Oh, yeah. My stomach's been letting me know.
So, Will, what happened to the Tellarite was done with his surgery, and then he's just in the med bay on the
He's
table?
in the med bay, currently sedated on the bed.
Okay. And the
It
other guy
looks,
is just still sleeping?
yeah, he's also like sedated slash sleeping. Yeah,
Okay.
they're like on heavy
Are,
pain medication basically.
yeah. So, there's no risk. I don't need to
No, yeah,
like
they're not.
strap them.
Oh, you think of them like going wild or something?
Well, just waking up if someone's not around, they wake up, they don't know where they are, and I worry about them roaming around freely.
Let's have you roll a medicine insight difficulty 1 instead of me just telling you.
Okay. I got one success.
Yeah, so basically, instead of thinking of them being a security threat and like getting up and like roaming the ship, your thought is they've just one of them just had like
Yeah.
shoulder surgery, so therefore you're kind of like strapping them in for their own safety to not be re-injured.
Like getting up in a panic and reopening there.
Right.
Yeah. I would feel more comfortable if I strapped at least one arm down.
Okay. Yeah.
The other side, not the side that was broken.
Okay.
Because Mescal is in here, but I was just thinking I was gonna go get something to eat.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's
So I
fine.
wasn't gonna leave. I don't want to leave the med bay.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're free to go. I'm not gonna have those guys like run off the table on you.
So this is not an Enterprise episode.
Should I keep attempting to do rolls for meditation, or since I'm going to be meditating for like what? I don't know how many hours.
Until she comes back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this
So
just,
yeah, let's have you do one more. This time will be difficulty. Well, did you succeed the last one? The
I
difficulty two?
I failed, then I succeeded.
Did I have you do another when you were inside the chamber? It was a difficulty 2. Did you fail that?
I failed that one. I only got one success out of two.
So again, control command difficulty 2.
You have only two?
Yep.
I only got one success.
So again, you're having obviously meditation is keeping you calm, but you're not fully suppressing your trauma. It's still lingering in the back of your mind. That kind of is buttoned up there on like loosely buttoned on the ship. So we can do like a partial thing with what was going on the planet with the captain.
I will take a chance to be who I'm meant to be. I won't let fear keep me from trying. It's time for me to make a change, to start living the life I want. I'm gonna reach for the sky, way up high. I'm never giving up. It's up to me to see who I can be, make dreams reality. I'm never giving up. 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 I'm never giving up.
So Ashrev, the captain, and the professor land back on, and this is all happening in the same time. So basically, when they're putting the jelly on each other in the decon, that's when they land back on the planet. The captain gets out. And obviously, I would assume Arhat is following behind her.
Yep.
She goes in and she demands to talk to Merchant Choke. And she asks, when they went in to get the telepathic discs, did they sneak in undetected or did they make contact with the natives? And the Tellarites end up letting the captain know that they didn't make contact with the natives. They were stealthy enough that, well, they feel that they were stealthy enough and got a few of the discs and returned. The captain then goes forth. She wants everybody evacuated from the planet because their presence here is violating General Order 1, and that if she has to, she'll contact Starfleet headquarters to force the evacuation on specifically the Tellarites if they don't comply. And you watch Arhat as she persuades the Andorians, who are the remaining species who are sort of hesitant to do this, that this has led to violence and that their choice to use stolen technology is not to their advantage. And
one thing I would advise the captain about is
Hmm.
we don't know enough information about this technology to be able to use it properly.
Correct.
We can't just implement it and hope that things work out.
Yeah.
And it's been proven that certain species can block and not use this technology
Yeah.
for whatever reason. So
her other recommendation is to return the discs without making contact, to not keep these things, to place them back in the civilization. And she makes the recommendation that you, Arhat, and the professor should be the team to do that.
okay.
So she'll stay back with the Andorian doctor, Chalor, and Merchant Choke, and basically the professor's second in command, the Vulcan. And they're going to stay back and basically start packing it up. She's going to oversee them get ready to leave because we're done. She's over it. She doesn't care what they have to say anymore about this place being beautiful. It's time to move them to the secondary planet that Sova found, well, a little while ago, when you guys first landed. So that's where she's recommending they be evacuated to that point, and that if they don't, that she's going to basically ask Starfleet headquarters to enforce it. So she stays there at the base. You feel like she's in decent, good hands. Um, you're not leaving her in a state of turmoil or in a state of like uprising.
Right.
Realize, the Vulcans and the Andorians to a limited degree are realizing they're wrong, and they all outnumber the Tellarites. So it's not really a big issue. Even though the Tellarites are angry about it, it's not really.
Yeah.
So you load up the box of the telepathic discs, and you go to the shuttle pod with the professor, and you begin your journey to probably the same clearing that you guys got picked up from.
My thinking, honestly, right now is there are buildings down below.
Mhm.
We have scanners to be able to check and see where people are.
Yeah.
I'm honestly thinking about just leaving it at one of the buildings down below and letting them take care of it. So there isn't a chance because for whatever reason we couldn't climb trees last time.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
feel that that's safer. We are delivering their stuff back to them.
Yeah.
They may go, "What is this doing here?" And it may be a mystery to them forever. But it is less chance of us coming in contact with the alien species.
Okay. Yeah, I can totally agree with that. So let's just have you fly to the clearing, you land, and you get to where you were. And
Mm-hmm.
let's just have you do that like 30-minute walk to where you
Yep.
guys had left the Tellarites or had picked up the Tellarites. And then you can deposit the discs there and then return, like make the return journey back to the shuttle pod.
Yeah.
So you land and you get out with the box, with the little Federation box, which obviously you probably won't leave.
No.
Right.
If anything, I would have looked for a generic thing to put them in that wouldn't be so obvious.
Okay, let's have you roll Fitness Con, difficulty 1.
Which is an 11. 9 and a complication.
So the professor succeeded too. So do you want her to go with you?
I don't have a problem with her coming with me for a short distance, but I'd want her to hang back once we get to the area.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
That way there's proof that I'm doing what I say I do. So if they say, well, I'm keeping it, oh no, I have proof that I am getting rid of it.
true, true. Okay. So your complication will be that as you journey into the foliage, you realize that where you guys were is now being like heavily patrolled.
Oh boy.
So it's not that they are advancing upon where you're coming from, but where you guys were, like you can tell that they are investigating like why there's trampled plants and why certain plants are broken and things
Mm-hmm.
to make like you can tell that they where you guys were for like an hour or so.
Yes.
And they can see like tracks, like tire tracks and stuff. Like you can tell that they are fully investigating that area.
I know using the scanner, I can kind of tell where they are.
Yes.
Is there a safer direction to go, which will probably be more complicated and take longer?
Yeah, if you took like a little semicircle way around like around them, it would probably be another 15-minute walk to get to a place where they're not standing.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, so do you want her to follow you or stay here?
I will take her into consideration of what does the doctor want to do.
The professor is
Professor.
relative is it's fine. The professor is relatively fine following you, but she has you can tell that she has no like like really pressing desire to be like right on your heels. Like you don't get the feeling that she thinks you're like trying to hide something.
Right. Yeah, I'll tell the professor, if you want to stay here and wait for me, you can. If you want to come with me, you can. I'm leaving the choice up to you.
Okay. She says she'll move away from this area and go in your general direction, but she doesn't feel it necessary to
Okay.
walk the entire way that you're going, and kind of walk like halfway. So she'll walk like 7-8 minutes with you and then kind of just
Hang
hang
out.
out in the shrub, yeah, until
Okay.
you return.
Does the professor also have a scanner so that we both are able to tell where they are? Or is there one
Um,
scanner?
I don't think so. No, I don't think she had anything when she went with her.
Okay.
But it's not hard if you wanted to give her one from the shuttle pod when you got off of it. That's not a hard thing to like retroact.
Yeah. But I think it would be good if we're going to split up that we both have a scanner so we can tell where the aliens are.
Okay. Okay.
So
They got
I'm gonna make my way with the box to one of the buildings.
okay. So roll another fitness con.
One,
Difficulty. Nice.
16.
Nice. So with that, you very quietly now with your seeing what was happening there, you're very heightened and very cautious.
Yes.
So your strategic stealth skills come into play, and you very quietly make a large detour around them and get to one of these buildings that you can tell is used, but perhaps it's almost like a gazebo type, like how you would relate it to your life. Like it is a building that people may use, but it is not a building that they use every single day constantly.
Yeah.
So that's what you see before you.
I would check and see if there's anybody there. I would
Yeah.
just go in. I'd go in and just kind of dump everything in that building
Okay.
and try and get out of there without being seen.
Okay, let's have you roll control science, difficulty 1.
So I needed 12. Complication! And an 8.
Okay.
Something
So
about this planet, I'm telling you.
the complication is, though you haven't lost track of the ones that you previously scanned when you were coming upon them in your path to the civilization, scanning for any new ones inside this place or nearby is too inconclusive to know. So you don't
Yeah.
feel like there's anybody over here, but you don't have hand scanner proof to know that for sure.
Okay. So I would try and, like I said, I would try and dump everything and get out of there ASAP.
Okay. So you go inside, you see it's empty, there's nobody in there. You politely put all the discs on the ground and you hightail it back to the professor.
Yes.
Let's have you roll fitness con, difficulty 1.
15, 13. And I needed 11.
So in your 7-8 minute walk to the professor, you know by how you're walking and how you're making your way back to her, you're kind of noisy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like the natives are picking up on you. It seems like there are still, because you're like, you're a 7-8 minute walk away from them, the ones that you left. But you kind of get the feeling that, you know, doing that a couple more times may not be beneficial.
Yes.
You meet the professor. She notices that obviously that the box that you have is empty. And she says, "So I take it you found a place to appropriately place them."
Yes. Rather than trying to put them back where they were, I just put them in one of the buildings knowing that they will find them there.
That feels appropriate. It's hard to know if they are really aware of them missing in the first place, but they definitely seem to be investigating our presence. And I doubt
Yes,
that they know it was us, but
yeah, they're aware something is going on,
yeah.
so it's best for us to be more cautious.
Okay, let us both make our way back to the shuttle pod and we'll roll fitness con difficulty 1.
Okay. 9 and 14.
As you're going, the professor this time is not quiet on the way there.
Okay.
And you can see on your hand scanner that some of the natives who are in the grouping are starting to kind of like break off and starting to kind of come towards your direction. So they're not like right behind you, but in your 30-minute in your like 37, 38 plus minute walk back to the shuttle pod, they are not like before. They are continuously following your tracks. So like before, they stopped at a certain point. They are not. They are continuing in the direction of you in the shuttle pod.
So we need to get on the pod quickly and get out of
Correct. So you guys get in the pod and you lift off as quickly as you can, and you make your way back to the base where the captain is.
here. On the way back to, I'll say on the way back to the base, I would start asking the professor a few questions.
Okay.
I would explain just so I know what happened. Can you tell me in general what happened when the Tellarites showed up?
She says, well, when we were there in the bush, we both saw something in the jungle, foliage moving, and your lieutenant moved off and went into the thing, and I heard some struggling, but that was really all I saw. It wasn't until later when we all met up and I went over to meet up where um the bodies were being commissioned ordered by your captain to go over by the bodies with Sova, that I noticed that some of them were not breathing. And when I did that and I looked at your lieutenant, I noticed that he he seemed emotional.
Emotion?
From a non-Vulcan, you may not see it, but as a Vulcan, it was as plain as day.
Do you think he lost control?
I am not a security officer like yourself. I would assume the emotion that he was trying to suppress was anger.
And he took out 4 guys.
Yes, I
I
had no hand in what he did.
I understand that. But being someone who feels emotion regularly, I know what it's like to lose control, especially when going up against multiple people. And from what you're describing, it sounds like he lost control.
Describing a Vulcan as displaying emotions, I think, would be safe to say he lost control.
This can be a big problem. I will have to inform the captain of this.
I know it's not my place and I'm not a member of your crew, but if you needed some sort of assistance from me, be merely because I am Vulcan, I would like to help.
I do appreciate that because I have trouble with Vulcans.
Hmm.
I have a history with Vulcans where I was in the war.
I see. Yes.
And because of that, I have a very strong difficulty when it comes to Vulcans.
I can understand that, Commander. It wasn't really ideal to be here on the base with Andorians and Tellarites, so I can understand. So I rolled, and you feel adequate, or that the natives did not see or really truly hear the shuttle pod leaving as it made your way back to the base. Now we'll kind of do a flash forward thing where that time, between going there and landing the shuttle, like the captain talking, going there, landing the shuttle, walking through the jungle all over, and then coming back, we'll say at this point where we concluded with Sova leaving the med bay and Jahan and House having that conversation. When you guys land the shuttle, it's like those two scenes are now together. You make your way back inside the base, and you see that in the few hours that you were gone, the captain has made sure that about 40% of the base is already packed up and basically like teardown mode. And you can tell that she is mainly staying around where the Tellarite merchants are and making sure that they are doing exactly what is required of them now.
First thing I would do is I would report to the captain.
She says, Commander, I see you're back and without the discs.
Yes, we returned them successfully, Captain.
Good. And I would take by your facial expression with no contact.
Nope, not to my knowledge.
Excellent. Well, as you can see here, we're about maybe 20-30% of the way done. I think it's a good idea to stick around here till at least the majority is packed up, so there's no risk of them trying to take it apart once we turn our backs on them. But I think once that's there, I think we can return to the Drake and make our recommendation to Starfleet as to what needs to happen.
Sounds good. I do have one other thing to report, Captain.
Yes.
I had a conversation with the professor,
Oh, yeah, okay.
and she said that she really didn't see anything that happened. But the one thing that she did say is Sova showed emotion. And the best way she could describe it was anger. And it's my opinion he lost control.
She said anger and not sadness.
She said anger.
Well, I appreciate you letting me know that, Commander. I will definitely have to address this with Sova. I'm sure that he'll have something to say, and I'm interested to see what House got from the decon scans too. Never know if it's something that happened here on the planet.
Have you contacted the ship yet?
I haven't talked to the ship since this point, since we first landed, but I'm soon to talk to them to let them know where we are. Other than just normal check-ins that, on the hour, letting them know that I'm fine, we're fine.
And my recommendation would be make sure that they have guards near the Tellarites, and just have a guard checking on Sova.
I will take your recommendations under advisement.
Thank you.
All right, let's have you, Eric. Let's have you roll a d20, and then Andrew, he's rolling for communications engineering for the ship.
He's shooting for a 9.
Shooting for a 9.
I got an 8.
Very good. Let's have Clark roll engineering control. Difficulty 0. So we're going to put you up on the bridge since Jahan is in the captain's seat.
Okay. That would be an honor. 1.
Okay. So you, Clark, while you're at the communications part of the ship, you're being hailed, and you see something that you did not you did not expect to see. You are being hailed by another Federation starship, and it is in fact the USS Ibn Majid.
Oh, wow.
So the captain is hailing the Drake,
Ensign,
and
what are you doing at the communication?
Oh, low staff.
on the screen is a female Native American woman, and she says, "Oh," she goes, you're not Captain Knightley."
No, not quite. I am the acting captain,
Oh,
Japan.
well, nice to meet you, acting Captain Jahan. I am Captain Bahalia. I've been
Aloha.
sent. I've been sent here from Starbase 2 to send some relief for you guys.
Relief in what way?
Well, we've been ordered to let you guys continue on your mission of exploring this section, and now we're here to take over the affairs here at Kaferin. They're putting more Federation ships in this area since you guys have been outnumbered. And with the attack on the Starbase 2 and other things going on in this sector, we've been ordered to come down here. So once I got to Starbase 2, I was told to come here and take over and make sure, follow up on whatever the captain is doing here.
I see. Yes, the captain is on planet at the moment.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yes, she's currently tending to the affairs there. Perhaps you'd want to send a representative down to speak with her directly.
Well, very good. Very, very good. I appreciate that. Well, it was a nice meeting you, acting captain. I'm sure as we continue our journeys out here, this won't be the last time we pass by.
Well, thank you for your assistance. I'm sure the
Absolutely.
captain will appreciate it as well.
That sounds good. So it says Bahalia out, and the channel closes.
Aloha.
Aloha.
You see, Ensign, that means hello and goodbye on Earth.
Oh,
You can say it
yeah.
anytime you want for anything.
That's
It's
yep.
Yep.
it makes us seem more cultured as well.
Yeah. I was born on a space station, so I don't know any of these fancy
Ugh.
Earth greetings.
Well, it's a good thing I got back here when I did.
That's true.
The USS Ibn Majid is a Daedalus class ship, so it's the one that you guys didn't want with the long thing in the circle in the front, the sphere. And you guys get readings that people are beaming, that there's been transporter signals from the Ibn Majid to Kaferin. And you, Commander, see, much to your surprise, you see outside of the base, near where the shuttle pod is, you see transporter imaging happening, and then you see two Starfleet officers who, from this distance, do not look like they're from the Drake. Obviously, they have similar uniform style, but you can tell that like you don't know who these people are. You're pretty familiar with your crew, and they don't look like you know who these people are. And they walk towards the base. What we'll say happens is that the captain and the commander meet with the members of the Ibn Majid, and the captain passes over their control and their continual investigation and wrap up of the Veldoria, the base here. And the captain is going to return to the Drake, not break orbit, but just return to the Drake. And before they return, both Arhat and her are told from the commander that Starbase 12 has also sent the USS Grelek to this sector as well, and they'll probably be here within the week into this area, not necessarily the planet.
Can I go for one more roll before we end?
Sure. Command control difficulty 2.
I'm gonna use a momentum since we got 6.
Yep.
Trying to take over the computers.
I got 2.
Okay. So after spending several hours meditating on again and off again, you're able to reach a place of peace in your mind again where the trauma and the things that triggered you are no longer being called to mind. And you have a more productive viewpoint of what happened, and that you know yourself that you needed to have this much meditation because you did lose control. So you're in a better place mentally to have that awareness. So I think we'll soft end the mission, which will allow for milestones to happen. And then next time when we start up, it'll be a new mission, but we will still resolve things. We're not going to just like propel you ahead into a new mission right from the start. We'll still kind of close out these things, but once that closes, it'll carry into the new thing. So no worries about what's going to happen with the Tellarites, like you, Mike, with the Tellarite officer. Like all that stuff will be wrapped up at the beginning of the next mission. Or at
Are we
least
send? Yeah, we need to send the Tellarites that we have down before we leave.
Right, exactly. So all of that will be addressed. So next time's episode will be episode 8, The Pedestal of Pompeii. And that
Okey-dokey.
will conclude it for this evening.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Okay.